is historically haunted tour day. Let's see what else we can get ourselves into. It looks like I got good connection for once at a historical site. You guys are gonna love this place. I'm just gonna wait for some people to get in here. You guys are not gonna want to miss this. This is a revolutionary site, this is a Civil War site, and it's a war with the British and the Spanish. Oops. What's up, Beach Bum? So guys, I'm at another location right now, another historically haunted location. This place has lots of stories. It's actually not too far from where I was with Katie down in Southport. Hey, how's it going? I am here at the St. Phillips Church at Fort Anderson, Brunswick town. It's a Civil War site, revolutionary site, and a war with both the English as well as the Spanish. There's a ton of history here, guys. So let me change. These yellow flies are strong today. Sorry, guys. Whoop. So I'm standing inside this abandoned church. So this is in North Carolina, guys. So where I'm actually standing right now, there's actually 12 bodies that are buried inside of this church. Y'all are going to want to share this out because there's a lot of information I got to tell you guys. So just bear with. If you like historically haunted locations, this is one of the best. So this is a location in the church where all the graves are. They're mostly in the front part of that area. But there is actually one here in the corner, which would be right here. And they're all going to be priests who used to be a part of this old Catholic church. Shorty, what's up? How are you? Let's see if I could... I don't know if anybody else is live right now. But yeah. So let's go over the history of this spot. And I'll kind of give you guys a little tour. So they actually hold weddings here, which is pretty cool too. Archaeology has revealed 8 large footings in the church which supported the roof, the 34 smaller footings of the wooden door. The aisles were paved with 1-foot brick tiles. Paved aisles formed a cross, bisecting the church. Other aisles along the walls also provided access to pews and 4 wooden floor sections. Sorry guys, I'm getting attacked by yellow flies right now, and they bite hard. Another crazy fact here, guys. Fort Anderson, Brunswick town, there's also a massive burial pit. They don't know the exact location of it, but it's somewhere around here. I'm gonna have to go get my jacket to walk around here because I'm just getting a hit with yellow flies. Hey, what's up, wife, mom of boys 4? How are you doing? Sorry guys, yeah, I'm getting absolutely swamped with yellow flies. I wish they would leave me alone. So this building, let's go over the history here. So John LaPierre ordained, he was a bishop of the church here, and he became ordained in 1707, came to America in 1708, served many churches in the area as a missionary of the Society for the Propagation of the Gospel from 1732 to 1755. So this church here, guys, I'm not joking, is from before the Revolutionary War. So that's a cool little fact about this place. I believe this church was founded sometime in the mid-1740s. And that's the St. Phillips Church here. Spicy spirits? Yes, definitely. So yeah, somewhere around here, guys, there is actually a massive mass grave or burial pit. It's going to hold 2,000 plus bodies. Like I said, nobody knows where the location of it is, but they know it's here somewhere. Hey, how are you doing, Feathers? How are you doing, Jamie Lee? So look how cool this place is, guys. Do I not bring you to the coolest locations? This is what I do on Facebook all the time, but I wanted to bring it to a bigger audience here. So yes, guys, those who are just tuning in, there's actually 8 bodies, or what was it, 8 bodies that are in this church. So one or a couple of priests are buried there, and more on this side. So it's pretty cray-cray. But this is very peaceful, guys. There's nothing bad here. But you do get EVPs here. They got quite a bit of activity with some of the old relics inside of the museum too. I can talk to him and see if it would be okay if I could live through the museum. We did it last time, so it shouldn't be a problem. But here's actually one of the cemeteries. Now this cemetery is very old. And the more you walk around here, the older it gets. I can't even see the age of these. They're that old, guys. We'll keep walking. So this was a Civil War fort, and it was a colonial homestead called Brunswick Town. This goes back all the way to the 1740s, and so this is very old, guys. Now this is pretty cool. Was there just a person standing to my right? No, but I did feel an energy over here. I'm not surprised if there's spirits in and around here. So I'll show you guys this real quick. So there's actually a governor of North Carolina buried here. The original capital of North Carolina was actually in New Bern, which is about 3 hours to our north. So this is Benjamin Smith. Yeah, so the Smith family is very famous to Southport, Smithville. That's why it was originally called Smithville before they changed the name to Southport. Born in January of 1756, and he died in 1826. Colonial Revolutionary, Governor of North Carolina into 1811. Grand Master Mason, and it lists the dates. It was like 1808, 1809, 1810, and his stone was placed of the Masons of North Carolina in 1929. So there's a lot of places. This is in North Carolina. Hey, Cooper's Life, how are you? Patty Mitchell, hey, how are you? Yeah, this is called Fort Anderson, Brunswick Town. It's in Southport, North Carolina. And I'm just giving you guys a little bit of a historical tour. I know how much you guys love this, and I actually have good connection here. There's another one of the most haunted locations here in this area is a place that I cannot get access to no matter what. And it's been a thorn in everybody's side trying to get in to do a film, and it's called the Orton Plantation. And it's literally a mile down the road here. But it's got a very dark history. It's like the level of Myrtle's Grove in Louisiana, or Myrtle's Plantation. Hey, how are you, Deborah? Sorry, I recognized you. I'm trying to remember everybody's usernames. Hey, how are you, Deborah? Good to see you. But yeah, so there you guys go. Guys, if you're just tuning in, hey, how you doing, Madonna? Or is it Madonna? How are you? There's a Civil War cannon. So this would be a replica of a 32 pounder. Actually, that cannon might be actually legit. Yeah, no, that very well could be a real cannon. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go off on the historical tour. And yes, I have enough cell phone battery. So this is going to be the Civil War side of things, guys. So this was a major vital port of keeping the Union at bay. They were trying to bombard this island and Fort Fisher, at the end of 1864 and 1865. They had two major battles at the Battle of Fort Fisher. This one was one of the sites where they bombarded over 164 Union ships called blockade runners and kept them at bay for over a month before the fall of Wilmington. So yeah, this place is going to have a lot of activity. Twin Spark just shared the live. Thank you so much, guys. Any help I can get bringing you guys to epic locations all over the place? Yes, you guys definitely need to come here and visit. I know the curator here. I'm actually planning on doing a full-on film here eventually of doing the historically haunted. I actually have permissions and film contracts with the museum, so we're actually going to be doing an investigation at this place. Woo, guys, thank you so much for sharing it out to all your people. We really appreciate it, guys. Make sure to give me a follow here on TikTok, and if you guys want to see more awesome places like this, definitely follow me here. I'm going to be putting some videos together about this place. So you see all these kind of mounds here. Those aren't natural. They're called earthworks. The Confederates built them ingeniously to prevent any Union soldiers from having an easy time of trying to come in here and cause problems. Yes, I am going to download this live. I'll have it on Facebook and on TikTok here, and I'll make some videos out of it. You would love it. I live in Asheville. Okay, if you live in Asheville, I'm definitely down to come. Here's some of the stockades. So this is where people who misbehaved would have been put up. Arms through here, head through here, and held, kind of tortured and whatnot. So this is actually, there's a whole bunch of these houses are actually predate the Civil War. These are the actual foundations of the settlement of Brunswick town, dating back to prior to the Revolutionary War. So they were all stone-made homes, and yes, there was people who lived and died on these properties, and they're scattered all through here. So I'll definitely make sure to take you guys over here and show you. And over here, there's going to be some more earthworks all across here. I hope y'all are enjoying this. I know, I love history, guys. Every time I move here to North Carolina, it's like a giant step back in time. So it looks like they got some kind of event going on there, so I'm not going to mess with them. But right now, they're actually on the river. They are unearthing a blockade runner that was sunk by the Confederate soldiers. And I'll show you guys. I'll keep walking over here. There is another cannon, and it's coming up here, guys. So. Hey, ACG Paranormal's in the house. What's up? So these are the Confederate Earthworks. This fort was not directly taken over by the Union, but it got taken over after Fort Fisher fell, if that makes sense. Fort Fisher is a little bit harder to get permission for whatever reason, but here is actually another 32-pound gun that was mounted here on this hill. We're gonna climb up these little steps here, And so this cannon here, yes, they did hang people here, guys. Yes, they did. So yeah, guys. So if I were to go over here and point up, behind those trees is the Cape Fear River, where the blockade runner Union ships would go and try to get through to hit Fort Fisher with all they had. It's a pretty crazy sight, guys. So yeah, it's gonna be tough to see. I don't know how well. I gotta be careful here, but you can see the river right down there below. That's where these cannons were pointed at, and they went forth and attacked the Union blockade runners as they came up the Cape Fear. The Confederates also had a major advantage, and they sharpened a bunch of logs at the point. They were pine logs, and they drudged them across the river. They were called blockades. They strung them all down the Cape Fear to stop the advancement of the Union ships from being able to attack Fort Fisher. Fort Fisher was the major port for Wilmington and southeastern North Carolina, and kind of blocked Sherman's men from being able to invade the rest of the state. So these are the big guns, and this kind of more information. Fort Anderson combined two main batteries that would mount 10 Seacoast guns. Battery A is repelled to the river channel. 32-pound guns could fire directly onto ships trying to sail up the river. Battery B defended both against land and naval assault. The fort's 9 smoothbore 32-pounders had a maximum effective range of 1,922 yards, or just a little over a mile. So that was a huge advantage. The two rifle cannons had slightly larger range and better accuracy. The Confederate Ordnance Manual of 1863 stated that a solid shot from a 32-pounder could penetrate through 26 inches of oak at 1,000 yards and 12 inches at 2,000 yards. So these are kind of a different amounts of cannons that the Confederates had, and this is where their stuff was positioned at along the river here. So you can see all the different areas where all their cannons were, and this is the Cape Fear River right down here. And that's where the ships would have been coming. On the other side of that, which is off the picture, would be Fort Fisher. Fort Fisher was then taken over after the Battle of Fort Fisher and the skirmishes that led up to the Battle of Wilmington. Wilmington was captured just after January of 1865, towards the end of the war. North Carolina, then Sherman's men then took over what is now Mount Misery Road, going up 95 miles to the town of Fayetteville, which laid siege to the Battle of Bentonville, which eventually I'll go up to show you guys. And I'll show you the Harper House. This is just more of the Battle of Fort Anderson. So there was a small battle here. There just wasn't any major fighting. So that's actually the Ohio Regiment Band, and you can see that photo there. On the morning of February 18th, naval gunfire intensified. The Union infantry began advancing on General Jacob Cox. By 9 a.m., forces were within 600 yards of the fort, and the shooting commenced. So it was basically almost like a skirmish. It wasn't a super major battle, not like Fort Fisher, but still a battle nonetheless. He returned to regroup his troops, went south and bypassing it to the west onto Orton Road. A few choices to Huggood, who ordered his infantry to fire on what is now within 250 yards of this location. So there was a little bit of fighting that went on. Right now I'm not going to be doing any dual lives, guys. It's just a live stream covering the history. Sorry guys, the guy who just tried to join me, I respect you. I hope you're doing well. I'm just not doing any duels. Hey, how's it going, Stephanie? Thank you so much for joining, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying this live stream. We're going to continue. I'm going to get closer to the river here. We're actually going to go over to the site where they're unearthing one of the... So, you know what they're doing right now is they're actually doing an archaeological dig, which is really cool. So they are actually unearthing artifacts out of the ground here at Fort Anderson, Brunswick town. So that's my dream job, guys. I would love to do that. Some kind of, yeah, see how big these earth mounds are? It's pretty crazy. Guys, I could literally talk for months of history. Like, if it's anything Civil War related, I'm obsessed with it, especially when it comes to the paranormal side and the historical side of things. I am very well versed in my history. That's why I ignore ignorant comments when it comes to history, because there was good and bad on both sides of the field on the Civil War. Oh, cool, you're a big fan of the Civil War, or a big fan of the paranormal. Awesome, me too. I love investigating. This town is just such an amazing dynamic. Downtown Southport actually has another big burial pit right next to the old jail, and it holds about 3,000 bodies. This is actually the Cape Fear River. You can kind of see this barge right here. This is actually one of their excavation sites that they're working on to unearth a old blockade runner ship. So that's going to be interesting when they find out. I love watching ghost hunters and any kind of paranormal shows and paranormal TV. Awesome. You should be a history teacher for a university. Huh. Look how cool this is. The pelicans flying above. So yeah, guys, this is the Cape Fear River. So it goes all the way up towards Fayetteville, 90 miles away. This end of it goes literally right out into the Atlantic Ocean. They would have had 163 Union blockade runners roll up through the Cape Fear and be halted and bombarded with everything they had. Fixed fortifications located on the waterways were difficult to properly defend against stream-driven warships, and that's how they were. They were big steamships. Ideally, they relied on heavy cannons from naval vessels for protection. However, the Confederacy lacked the industrial capacity to sufficiently supply the cannons and the ships at Fort Anderson. That was a major problem and major reason why they lost. Alternative methods to obstruct the Cape Fear River were therefore into place. They were called Yankee catchers. The barriers were made of two large posts, spills driven into the bottom of the river in two lines with a narrow gap for ships to pass. Let's see here. Oh, and just when you thought that torpedoes were somewhat of a new technology, they weren't. They were actually designed during the Confederates actually had torpedoes. And this is what they looked like. This was what they were looking like in their early days. So those are old Confederate torpedoes, believe it or not. And they were able to hold 1,000 to 2,000 pounds of black powder. Hey, Sydney, how are you? Everybody, go get my girlfriend, Sydney Reyes. She's in the chat right now. I love her. She's an amazing person. She knows a lot about historical Texas, and hopefully I get to be with her here soon. So, guys, go support each other. Torpedoes were placed in the river. Torpedoes were water mines that would explode on contact with the vessel or could be electronically detonated. Now, that was so far beyond advanced for any military at that time to create electronically controlled landmines. Before even electricity was invented by, or electrical light was invented by Thomas Edison. First torpedoes were placed in the Cape Fear River in the fall of 1864, prior to the first Battle of Fort Fisher, near Fort Caswell. In December, torpedoes were assembled at Fort Anderson by Lieutenant John Pembroke Jones and were placed near Fort Fisher to protect the new inlet. So there is a lot of amazing stuff, guys. We're going to continue our little historical walk here, and hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope I didn't talk too much, guys. I know I get obsessed with the history, But I just love it. This is actually the old Confederate Earthworks again. Those cannons would have been pointed right here at the river and bombarded them with everything that they had. Those torpedoes were successful at sinking some of those ships. Loving it. Awesome. Cool. I really appreciate you guys loving this. I love it too, and I'm so glad I can share what I know, not only about the paranormal, but the history of these beautiful, amazing locations. Oh, I know. I love the live oak trees in this area. There's something just so magical about the South with the old Spanish moss. But be careful of the Spanish moss because they do hold chiggers. Chiggers are little red bugs that burrow into your skin, and they're quite unpleasant. I have firsthand experience. Also, you got to watch out for cottonmouths and copperheads while doing these historical walks. But so far I haven't seen any, so that's a good sign. Usually you see a lot of more non-venomous snakes. So we're just... Yeah, Spanish moss definitely has a little chiggers in them and they suck. So a lot of these old places, when Hurricane Florence rolled through in 2018, I had just left a month before the hurricane hit, so I wasn't here for that one, but I've been through hurricanes here before, and they suck in every which way imaginable, and they're devastating, and they hurt a lot of people. But there was a couple of remaining structures that from the 1700s that unfortunately got destroyed by this last hurricane, which was pretty nasty. And today is the first day of hurricane season, so... Hey, the Lost Locket just followed. Thank you so much. Yes, I am back on another historical tour through beautiful Fort Anderson, Brunswick town. Do you guys want to see my pretty face? There it is. Hey, everybody. I'm wearing my historical sites shirt today because I knew today I wasn't going to be working, and I got to take you guys on an amazing historical tour of southeastern North Carolina. We're not done yet, so I actually have enough phone power where we could do this for a while. Oh, awesome, you're from Boston. Oh, yeah, you're from Boston. I can't do the Boston accent. All I know is Peter Griffin. So I do apologize. Well, hello, JC, with a laughing face. So we're going to get into some more of these old 1700s homes here. Oh, these damn flies, I swear to Jesus. They're called yellow flies, and they bite. They're like horse flies. So if you see me dodging, every time I hit them with my hand, you can actually hear it. It's crazy. Sorry. Really need to carry some DEET around with me. God, I don't know why they love me so much. I don't share mutual friendship with them, that's for freaking sure. I know you guys are probably getting entertainment out of this. So, before I get super attacked by bugs once again, here are some of the old homesteads here in Fort Anderson, Brunswick town, as I swap my face over and over again with my hat. Because you're so sweet, right? These are actually the old historical homesteads that date back as early as the 1750s. They are very, very old. So this is actually the James Epsy house. Maurice Moore sold this property in 1731 and assumed that Epsy would build his home here. Though in the summer of 1769, maps show a structure with a lot, but without a usual assemblage of outbuildings and gardens. So this house was built in 1731, guys. So you're looking at an old settlement. This is many years before the Revolutionary War. Over 40 years before it. It's quite amazing. So this is the Leach Johnson house. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to read that. Some of these plaques are so old and outdated that the storms have just got to them over the years and absolutely destroyed them. So if you guys are liking this, please consider following me here on TikTok. I'm working on trying to bring you more locations and try to get to 10K so I can share with many more amazing people. Golly, stupid bugs. Sorry. Mother... Get up. Sorry. I'm getting attacked here. We are about to investigate this spot as soon as these bugs stop. I'd actually prefer it to be freezing cold right now just to not deal with these bugs. I'm okay. This is gonna go on the blooper reel, I'm sure. So this is the judge's house right here. The judge's house was built in 1759, and he lived here until his death in 1777. Oh yeah, them yellow flies, they bite and you feel it. Like, it's like, oh! So this is what the house would have looked like back then. These are what the settlement houses would have been. And these were from this house right here. Would have looked like one of these. Actually, this is exactly what it looked like. And it was built in 1726 and 1728. And it was sold to Edward Scott in 1733. And it was 34 by 21 and a half feet, all brick. All right, you're gonna head out, Sydney? Much love. Guys, please go get my girlfriend. I know I need some off, bad. See, those are actually trees right there that got taken out by the hurricane. The hurricane, when it hit, had 120 mile an hour winds, sustained with gusts up to 140, and it did a lot of damage. Not to mention that there was also Hurricane Michael, which I did go, or Hurricane Matthew, which I did go through in 2016, which did a lot of damage. And there was a lot of hurricanes before that. Here's another giant mound of trees, oak and pine, that got taken out by the hurricane. So... I know, we're walking around in the daytime, right? And I am your haunted historical tour guide for this evening. Please don't tip the waitress, or do, it doesn't matter to me. If you guys would like to consider donating, you can donate here to TikTok, or you can go to my PayPal at HSFL Paranormal, same with Cash App. So I got to add those to my link tree if you guys do want to support my adventures and more historically haunted locations, and help also fund our upcoming projects for Roku. Hey Ashley, what's up? How are you? Oh, thank you so much for following me. I really appreciate it. I'm glad I got to make you guys laugh. So this was the Hepburn Reynolds site. Heartburn. I'm about to get it from these damn bugs, I swear. My stress level is getting so high from these yellow flies. And this house was built in 1734. Super cool, guys. Like I said before, those who weren't here before, oh, thank you so much for the microphones. Woo! I feel like doing some karaoke, huh? But all seriousness, guys, this is a truly incredible place, and I really do appreciate everybody's support. Spirit of the Afterlife, what's up? Thank you so much for joining. One of my most biggest nemesis are these damn bugs. They actually recently just discovered a battle flag, Confederate battle flag, that had been in somebody's house in Pennsylvania during a yard sale and was purchased by the museum. That actually came from here at Fort Anderson, Brunswick town, which is really, really cool. How's it going?
All the way around there?
Huh?
There's a trail go all the way
all the way around.
back up here again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just loops around the river, and I think they're doing some kind of big excavational site down there. So.
Okay, but we can get back up here again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So, yep, just continuing to get slammed by bugs. Nothing out of the ordinary here. But there's actually, for those who are just joining me, hey, what's up, 303 Paranormal TV? Yeah, so with this site, there's actually a huge burial pit somewhere here. They just discovered it. They don't know the exact location, but they found a map of where it's supposed to be. But it's somewhere around here, guys. I'll pan over. But supposedly there's 2,000 bodies buried in this pit. They died from both yellow fever and smallpox. Not only was this place captured by the Union, it was also a English settlement. It was before that, back into the 1730s, it was occupied by the Spanish. So, a lot of stuff, guys. Yeah, bug soother, right? Yeah, if you don't like bugs, don't move to North Carolina. That's a first rule of thumb. Or don't move to the South at all. This is like the most bug-inhabited state I've ever been to. And I lived in Georgia, and I've been to Florida and Alabama. And I have never gotten bit as nearly as bad as I do here in North Carolina. God, come on. Stop going for my ears. Little bastards. And TikTok has now taken down my live. No, just kidding. So, back over here, we are back at the St. Phillips Church. Dude, like, I can literally feel when they bite. Fuck buggers. So that's the St. Phillips Church. It's an abandoned church, and all that's left of it is the skeletonized outer walls. But there's actually 12 priests that are actually buried inside of the church. This church goes back way into the early 1700s, as early as 1720s. And oh god damn it, man. 1729 is when this church was put in. So I'm really just getting sick of the flies. I'm about to go back into my car. Like, the more I swat at them, the worse it gets almost. Hey, have a great day. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, so they actually do like wedding venues, stuff like that here. It's an incredible location, guys. We're actually inside the St. Phillips Church here. And this is actually a memorial to Colonial Earthworks, a territory of the Spanish, as most of the South was, like St. Augustine. There's a priest buried in this corner, and there's a couple more buried in through here. So, it's a really cool place, guys. I don't know if the museum is open today. If so, I can give you guys a kind of a little walkthrough. It's a really cool museum. Yeah, I know, I'm probably lagging a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. Not something I'm trying to intentionally do. Well, I felt about 12 of those bites today. It's about an average day here in North Carolina. Hope you guys are enjoying this stream. Thank you so much, guys, for tagging along. Awesome. Blue Eyes. What's up, Blue Eyes? Blue Eyes. United States going to historical locations. So, and I've lived here on and off half my life, and I love it. And I mean, I had both. Look, this one right here. Sweet. I'm just gonna do a little walk around the inside of the museum.
The
And
flag is, we had the flag, had to have it restored again, so it had been away for a while, so it just got,
oh, got put back.
yeah.
Oh, cool. All right. Here we go, guys. So early history, and this goes back to the natives that lived here, as far as 1000 BC and AD 880. Native Americans, Lower Cape Fear region, used this for hunting and fishing. 1524, the European explorer Giovanni da Verrazano anchored just above the north point of the Cape Fear. And so, guys, they just brought in something really cool to this museum that I wanted to show you, and that's the old flag. So I'm gonna show you guys the old battle flag that they found here. So it just goes on, and this is the history going from 1663 to 1730. So this is gonna be more of your Native American stuff. The Cape Fear Indians were virtually wiped out by the group led by Maurice Moore of South Carolina in the Yamsey War. So the North Carolina Native Americans numbers plummeted from 1,000 to about 200 because of the wars that were going on and the sicknesses and stuff like that. So a lot of those people that died here were from smallpox, and that would have been the decline of the Cape Fear Native Americans. So there would be over 2,000 natives that would have died as a result of smallpox that are buried in some burial pit somewhere around here. This is Colonial Brunswick, so it goes as far back as 1726. This is the people that explored the Lower Cape Fear. These are just maps of the area. Oh, I forget about this, dude. There's like, so they have little sounds that kind of trip me out for a second. More history of the Colonial Brunswick, and this is actually some of the old anchors, some of the old kegs, some of the old British ships that would have been coming up through the Cape Fear. This would have been in the 18th century, so 1700s. I don't know if that's open. It's not. Okay, so this would have actually have been the Chancellor's office. And those are actually original tables and desks that they would have wrote on. There's an old colonial British flag. And religion, so this is going to talk about the St. Phillips Church that was established in 1729, the church that you see outside. That's what it would have looked like on the inside. So these are actually artifacts of guns that they have found. This is a dragoon pistol. Right? Heck yeah. Always go to museums, guys. Museums are a ways that we learn to not keep repeating our past, and to learn things about our past that are good and knowledgeable. These were actually old utensils that they would have used, and these were actually excavated out of the area. Hey, R&R Paranormal Defense. We got ghost pants in the house. So this was millstone, so this would have been used to mill things like grain. This was actually an old toilet, so when they had what I call aquatic entities or toilet demons, they would sit on something like this. Just kidding. This shouldn't be repeated. Hey, how you doing, Mike? We have Scurry Girl, or yeah, Gurry. Scurry Gurry. Yes, ghost pants. So that's the old toilet, guys. You're looking at a ancient potty. This is going to be a hand-blown bottle, so each one of these bottles would have been made by hand. And this was a brass thimble. So, I mean, these are all... so this is actually, this kind of triangular thing is a Saturn for pressing clothes. So it was kind of like a ancient iron, really, which is kind of cool. These are different fishing hooks. You see a pair of scissors there, and some old pieces of wood and pottery. And that's actually an old deer bone. Here's a old oil jar. Just kind of cool. Take you guys over here. More artifacts that they have unearthed here at Fort Anderson, Brunswick town. Guys, please make sure to share this out. Let's get as many people in here. I'll be making a couple videos out of this, I'm sure. So guys, please help support the channel. And Real Ghost Hunter 1 just entered the house. What's up? Brandon's in the house. So these are actually... This is getting into the Civil War. This is my favorite part of this whole thing. I love the Revolutionary War and the colonial side of things, but I love the Civil War. And these are actually old musket and cannonballs that they have unearthed here. So let's go over this. Fort Sumter, Fort Sumter at Charleston in South Carolina fell to Confederate forces, and there was actually no deaths attributed to the battle at Fort Sumter. The only thing that died there was a horse. April of '61, North Carolina Governor John Ellis ordered General Cantwell of Wilmington to take forces at Fort Johnston and Caswell at the Cape Fear River. The initial survey in 1862 for St. Philip was constructed and ordered by Samuel French, commander of the Cape Fear District. General William Lamb, who is very well known at Fort Fisher as well. He was in charge of constructing Fort Fisher. The fort was christened as a Fort St. Philip by Major Lamb. What's up? The combined campaign of Federal Army and Navy failed to capture the massive fort. So there was already, so this would have been the first battle of Fort Fisher. 1863, the fort was named Fort Anderson in honor of General George Burgoyne Anderson. Combined Allied forces of Federal Army and Navy were failed to capture, and it was a miserable defeat for the North in December. So that was Christmas time of 1864. And then on January 13th through the 15th, the Union came back with a vengeance, attacked Fort Fisher, and captured it, leading up to the battle and seizure of Wilmington. 1865, Union troops under the command of General Jacob Cox broke camp near Smithville, which is now Southport, North Carolina, and advanced north into Fort Anderson. Union gunboats went upriver, and they began to bombard this fort. And then Federal troops assembled in Smithville, crossing the Cape Fear. So that's what one of the soldiers would have looked like. And this is going to be about the history of building Fort Anderson. That's a map of Fort Anderson. All right, so this is more. So this is really cool. This is an ancient torpedo. This is a Confederate torpedo, and I'm not joking. They actually made the first torpedoes during the American Civil War. So this would have been made with a Savannah variant fuse. They would have loaded this with black powder and set a electric charge to it, and kept them up there. Oh no, I'm losing. Sorry guys, it's the museum, I think, is why I'm losing the connection. But that is actually one of the old torpedoes, and they would have filled that thing with black powder. This is another type of torpedo that would have been made out of pure copper. which is pretty cool. And they would have been drudged 20 to 70 feet along, kind of the Confederate vessels were 20 to 70 feet along, 5 to 10 feet across the beam, and they were the simplest form torpedo for an open launch. And this would have been where the Lower Cape Fear battle flag. What can be found items which represent both the fort dated. So these are actually what would have sounded like at the time of the battles. Yeah, they're just old tools. So, I mean, you have iron pulleys. So they had a pulley system for their equipment on that tour. And guys, that is the site, and put together some historical photo videos. So if you guys want to see that, please let me know. I'll definitely do that for you guys. Some photo galleries. There's a lot of stuff coming up here, guys. I have 8 locations here in southeastern North Carolina that I'm going to be filming, and with a possible of 10. So just working out a couple more details with some locations. But I hope you guys are enjoying this. It's been an absolute honor today to take you guys along with you on the ride and get to experience the history where this is so well preserved. No problem. So glad you guys got to enjoy it with me. I can't wait to do the paranormal side of this place, because the museum is haunted and the people here will tell you. The curator has heard his name get called, doors open, stuff like that. So there is some strong activity that happens here at Fort Anderson, Brunswick town. So it's going to be really exciting to see what happens when we actually go lights out. And yeah, I'm glad I got to take you guys with me on this tour. One of these days you'll get to meet my my other filming partner, Enoch. We're going to be doing some adventures. He actually might meet up with us tomorrow night on the live investigation. Katie's actually going to be joining me at the investigation tomorrow night. So you'll get to see us both do EVPs. And so we'll be live there and get to bring you guys to another really cool place. But that is not a historical location. That is a brand new house that just has a lot of activity. And we'll kind of get into the story of why. But thank you guys so much for joining. Make sure to follow me here on TikTok for more paranormal and historical videos. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Much love, guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.